Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be giving you the settings that you actually just need to use in Fortnite Season 8. These are the most overpowered settings that you will find on YouTube. And we're going to be talking a lot about keyboard binds as well as the new settings that Fortnite added with Season 8. And I'm sure you've been probably looking for videos on this the last few days and they probably haven't answered your needs. Don't worry, I've got you covered, and I just want to let you know I'm a Fortnite coach and I'm putting out all the best information here on the channel. So at any point throughout this video, if you think that I'm giving you information that will actually help you improve, hit the sub button. It helps me out. We're on the road to 5k, but also you're going to get a shit ton of information in return. So let's just start this video off taking a look at everything that's important right now, right? And we've got the windowed mode, okay? I suggest you to play on this left one, which would be full screen, just period, because you're going to get a lot more input, less input delay, okay? Less input delay, meaning the game is more responsive. But windowed full screen is what I played on, because when I stream on my same PC that I play Fortnite on, so I have a one PC setup. And I don't know if I'm using too much resources, but when I tab out of Fortnite on a normal full screen, my shit just is like, nope, we're out, and it just crashes. So I can't have that happening when I'm ending my streams and stuff like that. Just the whole shit just crashes. No shot. So I'm playing on windowed full screen, but it's definitely better to play full screen. Moving off this, resolution, I can't change it on windowed full screen, but on actual full screen, you can have 1600 by 900, which is very similar in quality to 1920 by 1080, but it gives you that little bit less input delay, again, just making it more snappy, more responsive. Frame rate, I play on unlimited, and I'm going to explain why. I have my my frames capped from my graphics card. So hopefully that makes sense. There's an option in every single graphics card, and whether it's Nvidia or the other one, Radeon graphics cards, they have a cap in there. So I recommend, just hands down, anyone will tell you this, cap it from in there as well as in Fortnite. But I can't cap it in Fortnite because I have a 280 hertz monitor, so there's no real point in me capping it. So cap it from a driver's level. And the reason why you want to cap it from a driver's level, if I'm not speaking too fast, I'll slow it down for you boys. Basically, the reason behind why you would cap it at a driver's level is because it stops your graphics card producing those frames to then send them to Fortnite, and Fortnite being like, we're capping here, we don't need them. And then they become a thing known as a B frame, which is a next frame lined up, meaning it has a shorter frame time between frames. But to be honest, you just want to cap it. You want to cap it to stop your graphics card sending those frames. And when that doesn't happen, you get a more consistent frame rate. So hands down, you'll notice it. Even if you just change that one thing, it's probably the biggest thing you can do with this season is actually do what I just said there, and cap it from your driver's level if you haven't done that already. Brightness and stuff, I haven't really dove too far into colorblind mode and seen if it's overpowered this season. I have a feeling that Triton Out will make a return because there's a lot of dark purple colors this season and storm effects, especially when you're fighting those zombies and stuff like that, those, you know, skeleton zombies. So definitely stick on that colorblind mode if you want to. I would recommend it. Personally, I'm not, because I'm making content and stuff like that. 3D resolution, you can knock this down to about 90% if you're struggling to get your 60 or your 140 frames or whatever your target frame rate is. You can drop it down, you won't really notice it that much. But, you know, I think most people are just going to keep it on 100%. View distance, I keep this shit on near. I don't like expending resources on seeing something in the distance that is not important to me in full quality. I don't mind it being a little bit of a blur or just not as high quality until I get close to it. There's no problem with that. Textures. Now, no matter what rendering mode you're playing on, you can see I'm playing on performance mode. I think most people that are into, you know, tournaments and stuff like that are going to be playing performance mode. And I highly recommend you to, because the input delay by far is still the best on performance mode. Just if you want to know, the order of input delay from best to worst is performance mode, followed by DX11, followed by DX12. Now, DX12 does give you more consistent frame rates than both of these, but it has a way higher input delay than all of them. So hopefully that makes sense. But back to these textures. The reason why I play with them on high, and this is backed by It's Jerry, and he's done a lot of research, and it's actually a fact. So this just works. It's not my opinion. But if you disagree with it, don't blame me. I'm getting this information from people way above me. By putting textures on high, specifically in Fortnite and other games like Warzone as well, they're what's known as CPU bound, meaning they're using your CPU resources over your GPU resources. But when you crank textures up, it sends a signal to your graphics card. It's like, bro, we need the goods. We need that juice. You know, give me that stuff. Give me all of it. So by playing on a high texture, you're actually going to get higher frame rates because it demands more from your graphics card. Just know that it works best with 20 series and above graphics cards, you know, for Nvidia. I'm not too sure about Radeon, but I'm guessing it's the same thing. Just have a high, a medium or high tier graphics card. I wouldn't be doing this with a low tier graphics card because it will do the complete opposite. And then when it comes to these two things, these are the two new options, right? Auto download high resolution textures, and then high resolution texture reminders. So this is reminder basically to lower or higher your textures and based on what's happening. Now, I haven't really used these, but I do know them from Warzone. They're the exact options, and it's what's known as stream the graphics. So if you are really struggling for frames, like I mean struggling for frames, maybe you're not playing on a professional or proper gaming PC, you might be playing on a laptop and you need frames, definitely need to put these on. But for most of us that are happy consistently getting 140, 120, even if we're 60 frame per second players, it doesn't matter. It's just if you're happy, keep these off. The reason being is because when you stream something, it uses a lot of bandwidth, basically meaning you're going to have higher ping by having these on because it's streaming graphics to what you're playing, and that requires a lot of internet resources. So it takes the stress off your PC components but puts them on your internet, which means you're going to get higher ping. And it actually says it here, look. Note, slower internet connection or devices with limited hard drive space may experience performance issues when the game is downloading high resolution textures. Turning this feature off may help improve performance and save disk space. So if you have a slow internet, if you actually turn it off, it's going to be better for you frames wise. But again, I play meshes high on the next settings here. You can play them on low if you want. I just prefer the look of high. Obviously the low meshes give you way better input delay by a little bit. That's these settings. I don't think I have much more to go over. Maybe these ones here. Obviously make sure your matchmaking region is on your region of choice. There's not really much to go in here. This is part of my binds though, okay? So I'm just going to show you this bit in the building section. Reset building choice on. Disable pre-edit option on. Turbo building on. And I have confirm edit on release off now. As of this season, I have it fully off, and I'll explain why as we go through. And it gives you way better editing speed when you get double edit binds down, because it goes like this: the order, double edit binds the fastest, confirm edit on release the second fastest, and then single edit binds are the slowest. Single edit binds I still think are the most used, but confirm edit on release, a lot of top tier players are using confirm edit on release as well. I just think double edit binds are a lot faster, and I don't just think that, I know that, but it has a kind of benefit where it's, you have to think about pressing two buttons, which costs more, I guess, mental RAM, which means it's harder to actually edit consistently on that level of, constantly not scuffing edits. Hopefully those mad words I just throw at you stick, because I don't try to confuse you, I just talk this way. Moving on, I play with a HUD scale on 80%, and there's actually a reason for this. It's not that I just don't like it. It clears up my peripheral view, so I might be able to see something in the distant corner before it sees me if my map is blocking it. So, a lot of pro players will have this really low on like 20-30%, and that's why. I also recommend just turning on where's that reticle ammo indicator, because information is power in Fortnite. So if you have a little thing on your screen saying, you have an extra 3 shots, that's something that you didn't know before, and it saves your eyes flicking down to that bottom right to see how much ammo you have. And it means you can focus on your crosshair knowing that you need to reload after that shot. And that's something that I didn't have on last season, but now I'm happy I put it on. And I learned that from, I think it was BottleTW a while back said the same thing. Just keep it on. It's free information. Why would you turn it away? That's like saying if there's an opponent over the hill, would you rather know about it or not know about it? It's the same kind of concept, different kind of outfit, if you want to say it like that. Sensitivity, we have an 8% and an 8%. Now, I'm just letting you know I'm on 800 DPI now. So if you're on 400 DPI, this would be a 16% sensitivity. It's a lowish sensitivity. I've played on lower, I've played on 6, and I've played on 5. I can tell you right now, it feels a bit more fast for me, but it does the job. I'm hitting my shots, I'm consistently editing, and my targeting sensitivity has dropped to 20%. So my ADS is more lower, and enabling me to just absolutely annihilate people. If I have a clip, I'll throw it on screen right now of the way my aim is, because I'm an absolute monster with aim, if you didn't know that, but most people who are watching this from the community know that. And if you're not in the community, like I said in the intro, hit the sub button, bro. Drop a comment down below. Leave me your recommendations on what your settings are, or even just let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see more of, and I'll work on putting them in. Boys, I got you guys first, okay? You guys come first before anything. Ignore gamepad input and lock input method as mouse. For me, I'm playing on a controller, controller movement keyboard with it built into the software, and some of my binds that I'm about to show you won't work unless you have a keyboard with built-in controller movement. And the reason because of this is because I can do something called double binding, which is not a macro. My keyboard actually supports me to be able to press 2 buttons on the one bind. And it's because when I press it in like halfway, that registers as 1 button. So for example, let's just pick a random like E. I could have E bound to like, pull out a wall and then place the wall. So therefore, I just press E, and it's kind of like controller, the way they can just press 1 button on their controller, one of their bumpers, and they can place a wall without having to press another button. I can do that on keyboard, and that's why I've moved all of my build buttons onto my keyboard, so I can actually do that. It is very overpowered, and it's just saving you milliseconds, but the more milliseconds you save, the bigger advantage you have on everybody else. And I just want to point one more thing out before we actually dive more deep into these binds. My scope sensitivity is on 50%. Reason why, okay, is your brain kind of naturally picks up on things, and that's why I had my targeting sensitivity at 25% before. I dropped it, like I said earlier. And the reason why I dropped it was just too fast, but the reason, okay, it was on 25% first was because your brain naturally can remember I guess neurometrical numbers better. So it knows that 25% sensitivity is 1/4 or a quarter of 8%. So it just knows that it's going to be like, way slower. Same with 50%. It knows when you ADS in with a sniper, it's exactly half your sensitivity when you're hip firing, and it's just easier to remember that. That's just for me. That's an opinion thing now. I'll let you know that. That's not fact. It's just what I think. And that's why I change my sensitivities around quite frequently. Doesn't matter what sense I play on, bro. I still hit every single shot. Binds. I don't have forward, left, backwards, right. I don't have any of this bound. Because, again, I'm on controller movement. Jump, spacebar, crouch, left, control. Again, sprint. I just have auto sprint by default. So I just hold W and sprint. Combat. The usual. Reload or use is F. I swapped that from scroll wheel. Weapon slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've always had them. They're amazing. Now, crouch while building, left control. Wall is B, and my stairs is V. So you notice on your keyboard, V is before B. So I can spam VB, VB, VB. So it's like ramp wall, ramp wall, ramp wall. It's just better for momentum when they're beside each other. My floor is caps lock. That might be a strange one, but I just want to let you know my edit bind is shift. So it's actually risky having floor on caps lock because, tab is above caps lock. So if I hit tab, I'm pulling out my map mid-fight. If I hit shift, I'm pulling out my edit menu instead of building a floor. So it forces me that I cannot make a mistake. It's vital that I don't misclick. And that's good and it's bad. I'm going to get it down and I'm going to be a demon on it because that means I just have to move my pinky down 1 and I'm editing. So it can be really fast for editing and I can place my floor. And it really involves my pinky because now my pinky is pressing like 4 buttons. It can go between caps, shift, control, and sometimes I can reach up and press tab. So your pinky is probably one of the most essential fingers that nobody uses because it's small. But if you get it down, trust me, you'll break your finger. It'll be very sore, but when you get shit down, you're a demon. Stairs, like I said, V. Roof is E. So roof being a cone is E. Trap, T. Place button. So my place button is also P because I have it, like I said, double bound. So I have basically, I'm not going to explain it, but just like I said earlier, you can pull out a wall and place it with the same button. But obviously I can't bind something on my keyboard to my left mouse button because the mouse is different than the keyboard. So I have a double bound to P and then I bind my place button to P on my keyboard. So I don't actually press P, but it's bound to E. This might be super confusing for you, so I'm just going to stop. If you do want to know more about it, literally just put it in the comments and I'll actually reply to you individually, or I'll pin a comment at the top or respond to you, you know what I mean, or just DM me in Discord. I'll mind hopping in a call and explaining everything to you. Repair / upgrade, H, rotate building, or these are the last ones I'm going to go over. Change material, right mouse button, building, edit, mouse wheel down here and mouse wheel down here for the reset. So I still have scroll wheel reset, but like I said, I have double binds. So I can literally bind, building, edit, and reset. So basically just double bind scroll wheel to Q on my keyboard. Double bind Q as scroll wheel, and it instantly resets my walls. I can press Q and have the same effect as scroll wheel reset, only faster. So it just gives me more options. I can reset with my scroll wheel on my mouse, or I can reset with my keyboard. I'm going real in depth into these because they're such weird binds, so I'm sorry if we're taking too long. I probably won't show any gameplay at the end of this like I planned. I was going to show you boys like some, pop off moments with these settings, but again, I'll save that for another video. I don't want to be wasting your time. But that's basically all we have. Like, there's not much more. Your place buttons, my select building edit is left mouse. That's for most people. Crouch while editing is left control. There's not really much to explain. Obviously, my double edit binds is start the edit with shift and finish it with the mouse button. It's real important if you do double edit binds, always have one on your keyboard and one on your mouse, because that way you'll get the maximum amount of, I guess, minusing your input delay. It'll be way faster because you're using both hands the same, boom, boom. It's easier to do that than do two things on the same hand. So again, hopefully that makes sense. And then toggle harvesting tool for now. This might change, but it's clicking down on the mouse button. Again, just so I can use more of my right hand and not have to take finger off movement to pull out the pickaxe. That's why it's there. But with that said, I don't really have anything else to talk about in this video. So hopefully it helped you out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like the button,